And we are live. Welcome to the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. Joining me today, I've got one fantabulous guest with me. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Why, thank you. My name is Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZ Sports Fiend, and we're here to talk about the upcoming game against the Dolphins. Your Arizona Cardinals, who currently lead the NFL in yards per game. Who would have thought that? 20 months ago?
Shit, I wouldn't even thought it 2 years ago.
Yeah, basically 20 months. Yeah,
the turnaround for this team has been tremendous. But real quick, we'll discuss the previous week. The game against the bye, nobody won. It was a real tragedy.
like kissing your sister. Fucking ties, man.
Fucking ties, man.
How's your week, though? How'd your week go? How was your bye?
My bye week was pretty good. I spent the bye week. I had a hot date on Saturday. I've got another one this Saturday.
Okay, there you go.
Had a couple of good days of work. I'm doing pretty well for myself, man.
Oh boy!
What about you?
Hey. Oh man, it's been right. I mean, with all the politics and shit like that, I can't wait till this week is over with. But
hallelujah.
Just looking forward to the Cardinals. Yeah, looking forward to the Cardinals game. It's been a long week on my end. So I'm glad to jump on here with you and kind of just loose for probably it's gonna be a short episode, probably 25-30 minutes. We're just gonna bullshit around and talk Cardinals. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I spent a majority of my my bye week watching Better Call Saul, so that felt pretty good. But yeah,
how far along are you?
I'm like in the middle of season 3. It's really good. If you're not watching it, you gotta. It's so fucking good.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, should we talk about the trade deadline or lack thereof for us?
Lack thereof for the whole NFL in general, but right before we jumped on right now, we had some breaking Cardinals news.
Just pretend there's news music here playing.
Your Arizona Cardinals have signed 97-year-old Jonathan Joseph, cornerback, who was cut by the Tennessee Titans.
And do you know where he went? You know where he went to university, right?
I do not off the top of my head right now.
USC, go Cox. University of South Carolina, baby, the only one worth talking about.
Is that your team?
One of them. I've got like a split thing going on. My parents went to USC, so I pull for them. But I was born in Arizona, so I root for the Sun Devils too.
Nice. I thought you were talking about Southern Cal, and I was like, they're going down this weekend. But
nope. Fuck the Trojans.
So Jonathan Joseph obviously got cut for a reason. I mean, he's 36 years old. He's had a few horrendous games. As looking at Titans fans talking on Twitter, they're glad he's gone or whatnot. But it's not like he's going to come in here and play 80% of the snaps like he was in Tennessee. So the hope is he can come in, create some competition. He's got 5 pass breakups on the year, which would lead the Cardinals right now. We have multiple guys with 4. And his 56.8 completion percentage against would be the best on the Cardinals team right now. But he's given up like 15 yards a catch. So he's definitely getting beat deep. But I think we might be able to use him as a rotational piece or even competition in practice. So I'm all for adding veteran cornerbacks. That's what we were hoping for at the deadline. It didn't happen, but hopefully it's another time sign. Never know.
I'm excited by the signing. I know it's the last few time signings that I can think of, aside from maybe Dre, have been kind of
But Beecham.
I mean, I'm
Beecham has
certainly
yet
enthusiastic.
to.
What?
Beecham has yet to allow a sack this year. That's one of them.
Oh
Kelvin
shit, you're
Beecham,
right.
right
Fuck,
tackle.
I
I just
absolutely
saw on
blanked on that one.
Pro Football Focus. He's like number 3 in the NFL and most snaps this year without a sack at like close to 300 or something.
I'm pretty
So
sure
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Madden still has him at like a 70 something. They fucking
oh
shafted us
yeah.
this year, man.
I mean, it's, Arizona sports in general. Those games don't like us.
Yeah, fuck them. I'm certainly excited by the signing. I think that I am a little hesitant about the signing, given recent time signings, and the fact that this looks to be a trend based off of the Titans' recent spree of releasing people who have been underperforming for them on defense because they couldn't get deals done at the trade deadline, etc., etc. I like the signing. I'm a little worried. Yes, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, we have Prince in the mix, Prince Makamura, and that Osby. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt Joseph's going to come in. There's no job going to be handed to him, you know. But I mean, it's hard to you throw a bunch of people out there who have experience, and I'd like to think one of them will, kind of rise to the top a little bit and separate themselves. I mean, it's hard to complain because that was an area that we needed some help. Dre Kirkpatrick, is playing through an injury right now, and I mean, he's been pretty good this year. He doesn't get beat for a ton of yards, but like we talked about last week, he's just kind of like half a step slow. So with his foot injury, maybe one of these guys can come in and step up. And on that note, yeah, go on. Sorry.
And as it stands right now, it seems like both our secondary room and our cornerback room is fairly stacked. I mean,
yeah, we're getting Jalen Thompson back.
We're getting Jalen Thompson back. I mean, we got Budo. We got, well, we don't have him this week. We don't have Byron Murphy. But we have, Pat P. We got Dre. We now have Jonathan Joseph. I mean, we're looking pretty stout in the secondary.
Oh, I like it. And Deontay Thompson has been a revelation this year. I think he's been very, very good. So we'll see. But yeah, you mentioned Byron Murphy. So let's, I mean, if you're listening to this show, you already know, but we might as well say it anyways.
Our boys got COVID. Him and one Devon Kennard. And it is a goddamn tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way our defense kind of matches up against Miami and their offense in general. Miami's going to be down to their third running back, looks like, with Gaskins out and Matt Breida not practicing this week. So they're going to have...
Hold up, is that the white boy that was playing for them last year who's starting for them this weekend or not?
No. Who was that?
I'm calling him that because I don't remember his name.
No, Jordan Howard was with the Eagles and the Bears. He's kind of like a power back.
Shit, he's a Dolphin now.
Yeah, and listen to this.
Shit.
On 18 rushes this year, he has 14 yards. And on one catch, he has -3 yards. So, that kind of favors us if he's the starter. So I think last year maybe we were looking at Patrick Laird. He's a white boy, and it looks like he's going to be their backup.
That's who I'm thinking. Yeah, it's funny because Jordan Howard looked like a legitimate threat there for a minute when he was with Chicago. Then he got kind of thrown to the wayside and replaced with the kid from NCAA, and now it's just a whole mess right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too worried about him, and there with Byron out, it looks like we're going to have who's going to step up. They said. But Bobbles, help me here. Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson's going to step in as the nickel cornerback, which he's had a rough year in his limited playing time, but I think given an opportunity, I think he's going to run with it. The Dolphins don't have a scary wide receiver room. I think they're the best wide receivers, Devontae Parker with 30 receptions, and then their number 2 guy is with 14. So if there's going to be 1 week where somebody can step in for Byron, I think this is a good week for it to be.
Yeah, I mean, nothing on their offense really scares me. I think that Tua is certainly a lethal threat. I think that he can go off, but I don't know who exactly he plans to go off to. I think their win against the Rams last week was purely a defensive one. I think that Brian Flores, he's a very good defensive mind.
yeah.
He used everything he had used in the Super Bowl win against them to execute a pretty decisive game plan against them last week. I'm not
I
particularly scared
agree.
of him, but I mean we can't take him lightly either. We can't go into
No,
this is not.
this is a game. This is a game where it comes down to the better overall football team.
Yeah.
Going to beat themselves in special teams. Their defense is number one in points allowed this year, and their offense is going to try not to turn the ball over and try to score points, even if it comes down to field goals. So that's our biggest thing is I believe our biggest X factor is not turning the ball over and giving them good field possession, because I don't think that they can drive it 80 yards on our defense consistently. I don't think they have the weapons, and Tua in a second part. Just don't see it.
Here's how I see it going down if it all goes wrong. Okay, I think what they will do to us if it is a colossal fuck up is that they will do the same thing that defense is. God damn it! I'm having a stroke. Defenses have been doing to Derrick Henry over the past 2 weeks. They're going to do their best to play conservative offense and keep him off the field, him being Kyler Murray in this case, and try to do that for as long as they can to secure the. I think that is a very effective strategy against our team. I think we've seen it happen before, especially in like the Carolina game. And Brian Flores is I think a pretty smart coach. I think if he can,
he's proven himself for sure. He's doing a hell of a job there.
Yeah. I mean, he's smart enough to look at the cracks in our team, and I think he could probably formulate a pretty solid game plan against us. I think.
They have pieces there. I mean, they're going to have Xavier Howard on probably D-Hop.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, nobody's going to shut down D-Hop. He's going to get his, but they have a pretty solid secondary, and we do have a lot of weapons now that, at Kyler's disposal. So
I think this upcoming week, us winning and comes down entirely to our effectiveness on defense and whether we can execute. Because if we can force them to get off the field faster, then we can beat them for sure. Because they're going to be playing conservative ball.
Definitely, with how banged up they are in their running back room, I would expect Vance Joseph to make Tua beat them, bring a lot of heat from different vantage points, not let him get comfortable in reading just one set scheme, bringing guys from all different areas, inside, outside, left, right, showing him stuff that he's never seen before. And I think that we have the pieces to be able to do it. Even with Devon Kennard down, we're going to have Marcus Golden in there, and he's a junkyard dog, man. You put Marcus Golden in there. Did you hear his quotes, by the way, yesterday about coming back to Arizona?
He is loving coming back to Arizona.
If anybody listening did not hear him, please search Devon Kennard on Twitter or wherever and look at his press conference from yesterday. It will give you a fucking boner.
Oh shit! I got him mixed up with Marcus Golden for a sec. Shit.
Who? I didn't even hear you.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Marcus Golden for a sec. I
did.
Brain fart.
Who did I say?
You said Devon Kennard at the second part.
Shit, I meant Marcus Golden. Sorry, I got a little too excited there. But I think we'll see a lot of snaps from him with Kennard out, though. I'm excited. He's going to be such a part of our defense.
I mean, anytime a figure comes back to Phoenix sports, I never get the sense they're exactly like excited to be back.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, the big one.
Him calling it home, you know,
Yeah.
saying
I mean,
1,000%, like that shit got me jacked.
I mean, it's not it. That's the kind of shit that makes me think it's not even just generic PR talk. I'm happy to be home, but da-da-da-da. No, he was all in. He was really excited, and
But yeah,
I am really happy to see that.
yeah, you just think like as a player, you wake up one day on a 1-7 Giants team, and then you find out by the end of the day that you're going to a 5-2 fucking playoff caliber team that that is on the up and coming. Been on national TV last 2 weeks, getting a lot of love from a lot of people. He's going to see a lot of his friends back. So
and Marcus
I'm
Golden,
excited.
Marcus Golden. I mean, I mean, he could still ball. He was really, I'd say, disrespected by the Giants this year.
Yep,
just an absolute piss poor coach to hire for that job. You hired the special teams coach to be your guy.
He led their team in sacks last year, and now
he led their teams in sacks, and they give him a rotational role. It's ridiculous.
30% of the snaps this year. It's like what is going on over there? But hey, I mean, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So I think every single one of us is glad to have him back. And if you're listening right now, please at Marcus Golden on Twitter and ask him to unblock me, please. I don't know what happened, but I've been blocked for like 5 years now.
Jesus, man.
I'm sorry, Marcus. I love you, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. The argument that the NFL is a meritocracy can be instantly debunked when you realize the two coaches in the biggest market in the world are Joe Judge and Adam Gase.
Right?
Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm a diehard Arizona sports fan, and the Giants have a couple of Super Bowls or whatnot, but those two football teams right now, they're first and second in draft order next year. So I don't feel bad for anybody, especially not a New York team in that market or anything, but that's pretty fucking embarrassing.
You know what's going to happen? The Jets are going to win a single game this year, and they are going to beat the Browns, and the fucking garbage-ass owner of the Jets is going to be like, that's good enough for me.
Keep Adam Gase.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's still paying off fucking, what's his face, the previous coach, Todd Bowles. I mean, they're not going to cut off another guy before his lease is over. No, they're going to keep paying him.
Some owners and GMs just can't get out of their own way, but
yeah.
I'm glad we're in the position we are. We've had a lot of down years, but being a Cardinal fan hasn't felt this good in a while.
We're going to find out in 3 years once Sam Darnold's on like the Patriots or some shit that he's just like this Hall of Fame caliber quarterback that was held down by Adam Gase.
He never had a chance in New York, so it's definitely ridiculous. Hard.
But we are not a New York Jets podcast.
Yep.
We are an Arizona Cardinals podcast, and I am happy to say we have more dignity than the New York Jets for whatever little that has to say about us.
What do you think about the Cardinals leading the NFL right now in yards per game on offense?
I think that's the natural conclusion of the system we're running. I'm happy to see that, and that means our system's working. I think
exactly. Yep.
I think there are still some flaws in our system that need to be fixed, but I do think that for what it's worth, we're firing effectively enough to be effective.
Popping a beer? No,
yeah.
I don't think you go around and talk to a lot of people, and I don't think anyone's going to be like, "Oh, the Cardinals are the best offense in the NFL."
Oh yeah, We're not. I don't think we're even close to that yet.
Look who we've played the last 3 weeks: the Jets defense, or the last 3 games. Jets defense, Cowboys defense, and Seattle defense. 3 bottom 9 defenses in the NFL. So that's obviously gonna.
And don't get me wrong here. We've benefited from a really easy schedule. I mean, we have the
We've done our
easiest
job, you know. Yep.
we have the easiest team in the easiest teams in the NFC, and shit, I mean, this year arguably the easiest teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, the teams that we need to worry about most are the NFC West, and right now, you know, we're 2-0.
Yeah.
And I don't think we could still finish first in yards because we do average, you know, 100 and what? We're second in the NFL in rushing yards, you know. Big thanks to Kyler, and now you have Chase come in for Kenyon, who's hurt, and those numbers might even go up. I know the Dolphins.
I am a little bit saddened that Kenyon Drake isn't going to get his little revenge tour on Sunday. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
But you know, some things just can't be helped. You know,
it's going to be a good matchup though, because the Dolphins right now have the number one scoring defense. So I mean, something has to bend a little bit, and I don't think anyone looks at the Dolphins defense as number one. You know, the way I like to look at it, I like to look at what are you in yards, and then what are you in points, and then what is the differential. So Miami's 1 points, 18 on defense in yards given up. I think they probably have more of like a 9 or 10 defense, best defense in the league, which makes sense. And then you look at the Cardinals, we're 1 in points, or 1 in yards and 8 in points. So I think we probably are about 4th or 5th in the NFL in offense. So, I mean, that's one way to kind of look at it. I don't think the Dolphins' defense is as good as what they've shown, but they kind of have similarities to our defense where they bend and don't break. You know, they keep people out of the end zone, hold them to 3, you know, and it's all about how many points you give up in football. So it's going to be a good matchup. That's something that's going to be when we're on offense, I'm stoked to watch that matchup against their defense.
Yeah. Shit, what was I even gonna say? I had a whole ass thought, and then this fucking car like passes by me and stalls and shit. It was ridiculous. That's the only downer about going on walks and recording is that you have to deal with whatever shitty drivers are out on the street this time of night.
At least no one's like driving by throwing eggs at you or some shit. That'd be fucked up.
Go home, Cardinal boy.
Here's one stat in the meantime that I found after our last game.
Yep.
So so against Seattle, Kyler Murray rushed 14 times. That was his career high. The Cardinals are now 7-0 in his career when he rushes at least 9 times in a game.
Fuck yeah.
When he rushes 5 or less times, get this, we're 0-8-1. He rushes between 6 and 8 times, we're 3-4. So that right there just shows how vital his running is for this offense, because there are times when it's like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and guys just aren't getting open, and he's able to just maneuver his way for 8 yards, stick the ball across the first down marker, and that just defeats the defense right there when you can't get off the field because, you know, it's little squirrely little fucking quarterbacks just juking you and getting to the sideline, and that is huge, and that's something that we need. I don't think it gets talked about more is how vital he absolutely is just to this offense in general, not just the running game, but just this offense. And he doesn't take hits, you know, he knows how to avoid hits, which is huge. Not a lot of quarterbacks know how to do that. So, I mean, we're in a pretty good spot right now, I think.
I think the best, I think the thing we are set to see this weekend is an absolute bonanza on the ground, because Chase Edmonds, whenever he gets into that starting role, through these circumstances, he just goes off.
Oh yeah,
always. And
last year against the Giants. Yep.
Last year against the Giants. I mean, some part of the game against the Jets. I mean, shit. I mean, if we can see him even playing like 10% of what we saw at those games, he's gonna have a monster day.
Yeah, and like we talked about, the Miami secondary is sneaky good. They gave up a lot of yards to the Rams last week because the Rams had to throw. They were down big and early, you know. So that's kind of deceiving yards that they gave up a little bit. But those cornerbacks are no joke, and they have some athletic guys in their front seven. So if we can establish the run a little bit, which we've been pretty good at, I think that'll open it up a little bit more for stuff over the top, and I think it's going to be a really good matchup. This is probably the best excited I've been for a matchup. Our offense versus their defense.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the trade deadline. What do you think about us not making any moves?
I mean, the move we made was Marcus Golden, basically, and I commend Kime for being ahead of the curve and not waiting. He saw that with Chandler Jones out, we needed somebody, and he went to a familiar face. I wanted us to make a splash a little bit, but it looks like the NFL salary cap is dropping by about 20% next year, and so I saw a lot of higher ups in like the NFL world kind of talking about how that's probably one reason why not a lot of trades were done. It's because you're going to pigeonhole yourself into next year. So it is what it is. I mean, I think the only teams that did a trade were the Dolphins. Made 2 trades. The Dolphins actually traded the wide receiver on their team who has the second most catches to the Patriots. He had 18 catches, and so now they're left with Devontae Parker, who has 30, and then their 2 and 3 have 14 apiece. So I mean, it's hard to compare. Nobody else does any other moves as well,
Yeah. The explanation I've seen from other fans, to try to justify the lack of moves in the line is that Kime clearly sees that we're set for the playoffs, that we're playoff bound.
That was me on Twitter, asshole. No, I'm kidding. I said like that, but I was joking. But I know where you're going with it, and
I've seen people saying that in earnest, though. I've seen people
seriously, yeah.
Yeah, mean, I think that our roster is good. I think it is certainly capable of making a wild card slot. I do not think we are Super Bowl bound with this
run. I mean, honestly, who in the NFC? Let's just talk NFC. Who in the NFC scares you? I made a post last week, and people are like, "Oh, Tampa," and then they go out and they fucking skin by against the fucking Giants. I think they can get.
Here's the thing. This is gonna sound dumb considering I just spent 20 minutes ago I just rattled on against the Giants. Joe Judge knows Tom Brady. Joe Judge probably formulated a pretty decent strategy against Tom Brady. The only reason the Giants didn't win that game is because they got in their own way. I think it is,
AKA Daniel Jones.
It is certainly worrying to Tampa that they were even close in that game, but I do not think that is a death blow. I think that I think that of the teams in the NFC that are contenders for the playoff position, I think they are probably the biggest threat, because I'm looking at every other contender and I'm seeing massive holes. I mean, NFC North, you got the Bears, who have no offense. You got the Packers, who have no receiver depth. The NFC East, we don't even have to talk about that.
The
Saints, I mean, they're all battered up. I mean, they're in my fantasy league. They're saying, "Oh, Taysom Hill's projected to get 20 points this week. He hasn't even cracked 15 on the year. They're projecting him to get 20. They're projecting him to get 20 because that's
they'll choke in the playoffs. Yeah,
that's how bad the receiver room is. I mean, Drew Brees has not looked good. That defense has been carrying them this entire year.
Right. Yeah. His arm is going down, and I mean they haven't had Michael Thomas, but
I can't really argue right now that there's a really complete team in the NFC.
So, and which gives me hope. Like if there were the Chiefs in the NFC, where they're just far better, like best quarterback in the world, great, really good defense, then I can see that. But the Seahawks right now are number 1, and they have the worst defense in the NFL. So they're kind of going with some smoke and mirror. Russell Wilson's been playing out of his mind, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see that amazing elite team. Like you said, Packers have flaws. The Buccaneers are good. I'm not going to take anything away from them.
The Buccaneers are good, but their struggle right now.
They can get got. I think if you can get pressure on Brady a little bit and contain that run game, easier said than done. Then they're very beatable. The Bears beat them, and the Bears don't have a great offense. So I just don't see that elite team in the NFC. So I think the Cardinals can make a run. Our defense is no worse than average, and our offense is no worse than above average, I believe. So that's right there. Not a lot of teams have that combination of offense and defense.
Which is really funny because usually in the NFC, it's the other way around. Usually it's the AFC that has absolute chump teams for the most part, and it's the NFC that carries the load. Not this year.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's just a really bizarre year.
Who knows?
I think you could argue there's like 3 teams in the AFC that fit that build of perfect blends.
Yeah. I mean, I would not want to. The Steelers are still undefeated, So the AFC definitely is, I believe, a little bit more well-rounded, better elite teams. I do think the NFC has a handful of really good teams.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that one team that like really scares you. That that overall team defense. Buccaneers might be the closest. But I'm not willing to just give them the fucking crown. They're bringing in Antonio Brown. So I'm ready for fucking dumpster fire to happen. I'm ready for him to, say some public shit. But
you forget, though, the last time he was with, Tom Brady, he got 2 touchdowns and then he got cut.
Was it 2? Yeah, I know he scored at least one.
He got 2 touchdowns in a week.
They have almost too many wide receivers when healthy. You have Godwin, Evans, and Antonio Brown. So let's just say 3 weeks pass and Antonio Brown doesn't have a touchdown. He doesn't have more than 3 catches in a game. Will there be some in-house stuff going on in practice, in film room? You just never know. He's a very hostile guy to bring into a locker room. But if there was one person to be able to contain that, it would be Tom Brady, and Bruce Arians was his coach, I believe, Antonio Brown's rookie year. So, it's a perfect spot for him, but, there are a lot of receivers there and only one ball to go around.
Yeah. Let's take a minute to discuss our team as a whole. And let's go a little narrow here. Let's talk about our O-line, and more specifically how great we've been this year at our O-line, because it feels like even in the best years of the Arians era, we did not have a solid O-line.
Oh no. And it helps to have Kyler, who is able to, bring the ball down, tuck it, whatnot. But by ESPN's offensive line metrics, we're number 1. And we've only given up 9 sacks on the year. 9.
How much of that do you think is Sean Kugler, and how much do you think of that do you think is Kyler Murray?
I'm going to go about half and half. Sean Kugler is a hell of a fucking coach. He was very well respected coming in. And just even someone like Kelvin Beachum, who was a cast-off with the Jets last year, left tackle, comes in, and you have to give Keim credit for the depth. I don't think I've ever seen a Cardinals team this deep up front. We lose J.R. Sweezy, plug and play. Who do we bring in? But off the tip of my tongue, bring in to right guard, and he doesn't miss a beat. He's been probably better than Sweezy. What will Bob say?
I think Justin Murray.
Oh, yeah, Justin Murray. Yeah, exactly. You could bring in Justin Murray. Mason Cole goes down center for a few weeks. Bring in Galliard, and he doesn't miss a beat. Beecham was not the starter heading into training camp. Down goes whatever his name is that always gets fucking hurt at right tackle from the Steelers. And here goes Beecham, and he has not given up. Yep, and he has not given up a sack this year yet, which is unbelievable. You got to give praise to, I think, all three: Kyler, Kime, and Kugler, and the offense. I mean, they're without any one of those parts, I don't think it works as good as it is. So it's just a beautiful. It's like music to the ears right now. The way the offensive line is performed, I've never seen a Cardinal team perform this great on the offensive line ever.
The only thing that worries me going down the stretch about the Cardinals offense is are we going to be able to contain Kyler Murray's mistakes? Because he seems to make mistakes at the worst possible times.
I mean, he's second year QB, so we're gonna have to live and die with it. And if we don't want to, make a deep run and go Super Bowl, it's value. If we make the playoffs, at least that is valuable learning tool for a second year quarterback. And in this offense, even Cliff, I'm almost more concerned about Cliff fucking up than Kyler. Because if Kyler fucks up, I feel like he can come back and give himself a couple runs. It feels like he always needs to get a couple runs under his belt to get his confidence back, because he does airmail a couple passes here and there. I feel like Cliff almost gets too pretty with it sometimes, and even Kyler had to tell him 2 weeks ago, don't get that fucking conservative. So there are going to be some growing pains, no doubt about it, but it's hard to complain in the second year of this regime and with Kyler. Like, I'll take it, get us to the playoffs, and that can only be beneficial for our future.
Yeah. I mean, I know there are certainly growing pains as his career goes forward, but I think of the problems I'm worried about on our offense, that's probably the one I'm worried about the most.
And he makes the offense run too. So yeah, it's all on Kyler's shoulders, no doubt about it. When he's good, offense is great. When he's bad, the offense isn't doing shit. So, in life of a quarterback, but I'd rather have him than Josh Rosen or Sam Darnold. A lot of these young quarterbacks, I'd rather have Kyler, even Tua. Who the fuck knows what Tua is going to do? I don't have a lot of faith in Tua coming out and being the guy a lot of people think he is, but I'm rooting for the guy. I just NFL is hard, man, and this isn't Alabama anymore. So, but I am very glad to have Kyler as our quarterback, and I'm sure everyone else listening is as well.
Yeah, let's take the topic off the cards for a sec. Let's get a little interesting here. Since it's midweek, we'll have some fun with this. Or since it's the bye week, we'll have some fun with this. Mid-season mark.
Do it.
Who do you think gets on the cover of Madden in the next year?
Who's on the cover this year?
Lamar. And that Madden curse is hitting hard with him.
I want to say Kyler, but I don't want that curse.
I don't want that curse, and I still don't think he's a big enough name yet to be that guy.
Ooh, I don't know, man. 2 primetime games, going back home, Dallas, and then beating the Seahawks. He's getting there.
He's getting there.
I mean,
I still don't think he's there yet.
I'm gonna say right now, I'd bet you $5 or an avatar change on Twitter that it will be Kyler next year.
I disagree.
If he is not on the cover, I will change my avatar for 1 week to your choosing.
Okay, so Bobby, you're gonna have to remind me of that.
I'll remember.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think is gonna happen. It's gonna be one of two things. I think everybody and their mother senses in the air that next year is probably going to be Tom Brady's last year. So I think what's going to happen is that they're going to put him on the cover and have it be like centered around him having one last ride. The
final supper.
Or they get a little creative they do something they haven't done in a long ass time. I think the last running back,
Okay, running back.
last running back they put on the cover was Adrian Peterson. I
Holy
think that
shit.
and I think the Adrian Peterson of his time right now has to be Derrick Henry. So I think they either put Tom Brady on the cover or they put Derrick Henry on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, neither would be as sexy as Kyler, but I if there was one running back, I believe it would be Henry as well. I mean, you're not going to put Christian McCaffrey after being hurt most of the year, or
The editor thinks
Saquon Barkley, Elliott.
the editor seems to think Russell's going to get it. I don't know about that.
Fucking Seahawks fan, Bo Bobbles. God damn it! No, I mean, I can see that. I don't. Has he ever been on it?
Nope.
Okay. So I mean, if he wins every, yeah, I can see that's a good option, Bo Bobbles. Okay, I see you.
No, they're gonna give it to Tom. They're gonna do some hacky bullshit.
All right, we have a bet though. We have an avatar bet on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm down. Okay, and going back real quick to our offensive line with Kugler. I was looking for this stat and I just found it. So through week 8, here are the total QB hits allowed. The Cardinals lead the NFL with 14. Second is the Colts with 24. Packers are third with 25. Last are the Eagles with 76. 76. That's 6 times as much as what Kyler's getting hit. And I mean, I'm blown away by the offensive. I can't remember the last time we've had a solid offensive line. Maybe that 1 year with Carson.
I don't even know,
but
man.
Yeah, I just want to go. I wanted to go back and tell the listeners that stat real quick. But I think this podcast is going longer than what we thought. Right? This is going good. We're winging it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is for the most part entirely improv.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really have a set outline this time, so it's kind of just off the cuff here.
Yeah. We wanted to not skip like a full week because of the bye. You know, we didn't talk about the Dolphins a lot last week, so just kind of wanted to come back a little bit and get our juices flowing before Sunday. So if you're listening, you guys are goated for real. We appreciate it.
We love our fans. We love our.
Hi, Mom.
We love our people, and we love ISIS. No,
okay.
Jesus.
That's why we have four views.
I think that's probably the funniest little gag we get going. That our podcast is sponsored entirely by Osama bin Laden.
I can see why I could turn off some people, but yeah, we're that's just who we are here. You know, we're not gonna, we're not held down by restrictions of, some big corporation. We do what the fuck we want. We say what we want. We tell you, what we believe is gonna happen, or about this team. This is the team we love. So, I'm glad to be doing this with you guys.
Baba Booey. All right, so should we get into our predictions for the week?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
All right, so it's Thursday night, so, the game's already going on. As it stands right now, the Packers are beating the Niners, so let's say the Packers win that one. Hell yeah.
What's that score? I'm not even watching.
21-3, and it's just started.
Jesus. Fucking Niners are decimated with injuries. I hate to see it.
I made the right choice, and I started the Packers defense tonight. I saw the Niners only had one wide receiver, so I said, fuck it.
That's smart. Smart move.
But, yeah, so let's get into the actual picks for the day. Wow, this early.
Let's do it, sir.
Garbage. Okay, so first game on the slate. We got Texans-Jags. Who do you got?
I gotta go Texans and Deshaun Watson. Just a better team, I think, overall.
Better team overall? I think they're a better team overall, and plus Minshew's not even going to be playing for the Jaguars this weekend.
That's right.
They've got another 6th rounder reared up and ready to go. So I think that
rookie, right?
Is he a rookie? Of course, the last 6th round rookie they started out of nowhere, turned out to be Gardner Minshew, so maybe they strike twice. Who knows?
Okay, there we go.
I doubt it, though. So Texans dub. Oh, boy.
We'll bring all the fun facts here.
Divisional matchup. Here we go. Giants racial slurs. Who do you got?
I fucking hate picking NFC East teams because they're garbage, but I am going to go with Washington. I believe they lead the NFL in they're like second in the NFL or something like that, like defense points allowed or something. So I think they're going to be able to shut down that dismal rushing attack, and Daniel Jones will throw a couple picks.
Yeah, I think the Giants are definitely more stagnant than the Redskins are. It's pretty much a battle for who's less stagnant in that game.
The Giants just played their Super Bowl against the Bucks. So
yeah, that's the best game they're going to get for the next. Right? That's going to be the best game they play for the next 10 years. So I'm going to say, fuck it, racial slurs win. Surprisingly good bout after that. We got Ravens Colts. Who do you have?
I'm going to go Lamar bouncing back. The Colts defense has been really, really good this year. I just do not believe in that offense still. So I'm gonna go Ravens.
I don't know, man. Lamar's looked really, really rough this year. I mean, he's basically putting up Kyler numbers.
I like their running game a lot, though.
And Kyler numbers is not a bad thing, but when you're coming off, one of the best seasons in recent memory for a quarterback, that is bad. He looks awful out there. He's fumbling the ball too much. He's throwing too many interceptions. I don't know, man. I've got to say that I think the Colts are a more complete team as it stands. I've got to say Colts.
Okay. All right. I disagree, but all right.
All right. So Lions, Vikings. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go Vikings. Got Dalvin Cook, so I need him to blow up.
I think the Vikings are a better team as a whole than the Lions. I think that's just the Vikings have also gotten screwed over this year because they've faced like some really fucking tough teams early. I mean, if I remember right, the first 5 teams they played all have winning records.
Yeah, and they kind of found themselves last week. They got to run the ball. They got to dominate the ground, and they did that. Who they beat? I think the Packers last week.
Yeah, they beat the Packers. They demolished them for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, Dalvin Cook is elite when he's healthy and getting the touches. So I'm gonna go Vikings.
It felt like most of our predictions of last week, the big ones, were just like absolutely wrong. Of course, the Jets one was right because I'm a fucking genius, obviously.
I was in a pick'em. I did a pick'em last week, and I looked Sunday night before the Sunday night game, and I'm like, I only have four wins. Like, did I even pick like all the matchups? And I fucking look, and the top guy in our league had like 7 wins. So that was just a rough week for I think almost everybody in general. That was crazy.
Yeah, nobody could have predicted that.
Right?
After that, we got a pretty good, intra-conference matchup. We got Bears Titans. Who do you have?
Intra-conference?
Intra, as in AFC versus NFC.
Oh, okay. I'm a little slow, I guess.
It's okay.
I gotta go Titans. I think both these teams are a little smoke and mirrors, but Titans with Derrick Henry, I'm gonna go them. They got embarrassed last week, so I think they'll step it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Bears defense is certainly pretty solid. I think that if there ever was a team that could, hold Henry on the day, it's probably them. But on the same token, I don't think their offense is efficient enough to, make up for that. So I think the Titans win that one. I think that's going to be a hard fought bout, but I think it's still going to be a Titans win.
Yeah, probably like 21-20 or some shit.
Panthers Chiefs. Who do you have?
How can you go anywhere else other than KC?
KC, baby. KC.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the Panthers are looking a lot better this year than I think anybody could have expected, but I still think they're they're still in that rebuild mode, and I still think that they have a lot to work on before they're there.
Yeah, I think they can maybe keep it within a possession or two, kind of surprise some people. But they just don't have the overall offense or even defense right now to, I don't think, even give a Chiefs a real run for the money. But I think they could keep it close somewhat.
After that, we got I think this week is just AFC, NFC all across the board. You got Seahawks, Bills. Who do you have?
God, I want the Bills to win so bad, but I just don't think they can put up enough points. Pains me to say, I'm gonna go see chickens.
I think that if there ever was a week for the Bills to go off, it'd be this one. I mean, worse teams than them have gone off against this Seahawks defense. I mean,
That's true.
There hasn't been a team so far that is, looks like they were gassed against this team. I mean, the 49ers sort of did last week, but I mean, that's mostly because of just a laundry list of injuries. Yeah. I think the Bills got it. I think the Bills have a W here. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair.
Is that in Buffalo?
Yeah. So, East Coast game, I mean,
probably cold as shit.
Cold as shit, West Coast fatigue, 1:00 start. I mean, I don't
Sunday.
know, man. You can't
65.
You can't get much further than Seattle to New York, Seattle to New York flight, man,
Yeah, hey, I like it. Yeah, that could definitely be one where the Seahawks lose and we gain the game and hopefully fucking finish the day in first place.
Let's hope. After that, we got a stinker. Broncos, Falcons. Who do you got?
It's hard to believe in the Broncos at all.
I mean, they had a massive comeback against the Chargers last week. I mean,
who doesn't though? But
yeah,
they're I like how the Falcons and the Chargers just like switch off every week on who's going to fucking give up a big lead.
Yeah.
So actually, you talked me into the Broncos. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Broncos. The Broncos are certainly looking good after that one.
It's only appropriate they have two comebacks back-to-back weeks against Chargers and Falcons. That seems only perfect.
Yeah. The Falcons, I think, are getting close to that point where they go on like a mid to late season tear and save Dan Quinn's job for another year.
Yeah.
But wait, shit. Why am I saying that? Dan Quinn got fired.
Oh yeah. No, I mean they're kind of a pick'em game almost, but I could definitely find a way to blow it.
Don't hinge your suicide on this one, but certainly an interesting one. After that, we got Raiders Chargers. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I have to explain myself with that one. I think the Chargers looked like a mess last week, and if they can't hold it against the Broncos, they certainly can't hold it against the Raiders.
Right, I agree.
425. We've got a rematch of some Super Bowl, I'm sure. Super Bowl XXX. We got Steelers Cowboys. Who do you have?
I mean, how could you not go fucking Steelers?
Yeah.
Not much to say about that one, but yeah.
And we are lucky beyond belief that was not made a primetime game. Because the NFL, they would have put that in a primetime slot if they could have.
Just wait for the Monday night matchup. I just saw it fucking today. I almost wanted to puke.
Jeez. We'll get to that. Saints Buccaneers. Who do you have? That's the Sunday night football. We might actually be waiting all day for that one. That's a good one.
I want the Saints. So I'm going to go Saints.
You know what? I want the Buccaneers to win because I think they're a more fun team to watch, and a Saints loss puts us in better standing in the rankings. So I think the Buccaneers have this one. It's in Tampa. It's at their home. I mean, I think they got it.
Probably come down to end of the fourth quarter. Who the best execution here in the last possession or two with two Hall of Fame quarterbacks and pretty solid teams. So I think it could go either way. But yeah, I'm gonna go Saints.
And Monday night, oh boy, Monday night, we got Pats Jets. Jesus fucking Christ!
Right.
If there ever was a game to flex, it'd be this one. Fucking
Right.
East Coast bias, man.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not go? I mean, Pats look like shit, but the Jets are the Jets, so you got to go Pats.
Yeah. Wait. I'm gonna be a contrarian here. Cam Newton, ever since coming back from COVID, has looked
Oh, he's looked
awful.
horrible. Yeah, he
Awful.
really has. Yep.
And if there was ever a week for the Jets to get a miracle first victory, other than maybe say the Browns game, I think this is the one. Because the Pats look awful. They dropped 4 games for the first time since I want to say 02, probably before that. I mean, they just look terrible.
They 2-5.
Yeah, they're 2-5 right now.
I could see Belichick coaching his way to a loss to try to get fucking a top pick somehow. if that's even possible, but he's galaxy brain. Yeah, if there was ever a week, I mean, Jets are going to probably play hard against them, division matchup. So,
hey, but hey, for what it's worth, that record would get them second place in the NFC East.
Holy shit!
Jesus Christ!
Amazing that fucking one of those teams are going to make the playoffs.
Christ, it's
not even confident.
I tangent here. I think what the NFL needs to do is keep divisions and conferences together purely for scheduling. Have it seeded out like the NBA. Do the same formatting as we're doing currently. Just erase divisions from it entirely. Because there have been so many times recently where garbage teams have gotten in over, teams that were surging or teams that were coming back on, coming back around, and just it's just ridiculous that it could very well be that we miss the playoffs while the 4-11-1 Eagles make it. It's just absolutely insane.
There's really no easy way around it. I mean, we benefited from that our Super Bowl year, and then we got fucked from it. Was it Arians' first year when we won 10 games and didn't make the playoffs? Yeah, I mean, it does suck. There's no doubt about it. Maybe they could do it similar to the NHL, or NBA, where division winners doesn't matter. They just pick the top guys.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how you got to do it. I think there's no real excuse about it. I think it's a really antiquated format. So all of that leads us to your Arizona Cardinals versus the cigar smoking, the bikini clad Miami Dolphins. Who do you have?
I mean, we are a Cardinals podcast, but even if we weren't, I don't know how you really don't go Cardinals unless you're putting a lot of weight on that Rams game last week. But I think that Rams game was a little bit kind of smoke and mirrors for the Dolphins. They got 4 turnovers and they got Jimmy G on his heels, but they didn't have Kyler Murray. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I feel like the you good.
No, I was just gonna say prediction score. I'm gonna say 30-16 Cardinals.
Good shit. I think the Rams on the season have been entirely flukish, so I'm not putting too much into that Rams victory that they had last week. I think the Rams are probably the Bears of the NFC West right now. I'm not convinced by them at all. But
I like their defense is number 1 in yards against, and they are tough. Aaron Donald's still a fucking monster. But it feels like their offense kind of has peaked. their offense has peaked. It almost feels like.
Yeah, you can't help but think that that Sean McVay wishes that he could have Carson Wentz right now over over Jared Goff.
Carson
If he could,
Wentz. Ugh.
if he could run it back, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'd hate to have either of those guys.
Yeah, but as for me, I think that it's going to be a fairly low-scoring affair. I'm gonna say 21-17 is my final. Cardinals.
Okay, I like it. Yeah. Both defenses are giving up less than 21 points per game. So I could see a lower scoring. I kind of just feel like we're gonna kind of expose them a little bit on defense because they're giving up like seriously middle pack to bottom in yards. We're really good at converting red zone to touchdown. So if we do that a couple times, I think and take care of the ball, I think we got this in the bag. I'm not too worried about their offense. I just want to take care of the ball and find the end zone when we get to the red zone, and I think we'll be just fine.
I'm going to be very interested in how our defensive secondary works this this game. I'm going to be interested to see Golden's impact on the game. I think this will be a very interesting week.
Yeah, looking forward to there. Are a lot of storylines that like you said, Marcus Golden, Jalen Thompson coming back. Who's going to fill in for Byron Murphy, and how are they going to do? There are definitely some storylines to look after, and of course Tua versus Kyler, which is hyped up because Tua, coming from Alabama, rookie year, whatnot, but he's just not on the same level as Kyler right now, and I think that he's going to prove it this weekend.
But do you have anything else to say?
I think it went good, man. Great podcast.
All right, I think that about wraps things up. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
My name is Mac. You can find me at AZ Sports Fiend for all the shitty takes.
And we are out.